This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this Shamrock 233S right here. Okay, I'm on the door side of the trailer. Okay, walking towards the rear. There goes Jeff. As you can see, the bunks or beds are out right now. When you push them up, basically, you're just going to catch this bolt here on either side with this lock called a roto vise, and you'll just grab it like that and pull it shut. Alright, we'll go more into that in a little bit. This is your water station back here. You see I have your city water hookup right there. Okay, this one is to draw antifreeze into the system. You have to educate yourself about winterizing it if you intend to do it yourself and you don't really know about it. And of course this one here, the top middle one, is the black tank flush. Now after you've dumped your black tank, you can leave the black tank valve open, hook your hose right to here, and turn on the water and it'll flush out your black tank even better, cleaning off the sensors and that sort of thing. You see from the sticker here, it tells you to always make sure that the black tank valve is open before you turn the water on. Alright, so you got a power awning, an outside grill. The grill has a grill line that will connect here, underneath here, with the female side, and then the male side will come down here and connect it, this quick connect fitting here, and that's a valve to turn it on right there. Okay, you've got scissor type stabilizers. You're going to use a crank for that, or most people these days use a 3/4 inch socket on a drill and just zip them up and down that way. Alright, you also have a table that hangs on here, a utility type table. This is a TV mount, and this is antenna out, and this is power to hang a TV outside if you choose to. You got outside speakers. This is the vent hood for your or the vent for your range hood. So if you're going to use the fan in your range hood, you want to push up on these right here so this flaps freely when you're venting. Otherwise you just keep it shut like that when you're not venting. Your stairs will fold right into the trailer. If you're on uneven terrain, you can pull the pin right here, and you can see you can adjust the leg length by moving it from the different holes and putting the pin in, so you can adjust it to whatever you need. Alrighty, here we have the crank for your stabilizers right here. This is the quick connect hose for your grill right here, and there's the male end there. Okay, and this small crank here is for the tongue jack, the power tongue jack. In case it fails, you can always use this crank to crank it out. I'll show you how that works in a minute. That is your utility table there, and while your battery box and lid is there, I don't know, I guess this one comes with, okay, you got a dual battery box on this one. Alright, that makes sense. Okay, let's see, this is your water heater. This works on either gas or electric, so you always want to make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn it on. To operate this switch right here on the lower left hand corner, you can see it right there, that operates the electric heating element that is under this cover here. So if you're going to run on electricity, you have to turn this one on first to activate the heating element, just so you know. Otherwise the switches are inside for the gas and the other electric switch. This is where it drains from right here. It's an 1 1/16 socket to get it out. Alright. Okay. So you've got tanks here, of course, 2 20-pounders. It's an automatic changeover regulator for the LP. This is a kill switch for the battery, so you can always shut it off when you put it into storage. Of course, your battery box there. Moving around the slide out. Let me back up just a little bit here. Okay, moving around the slide out, you have this fill here. Now this is for the fresh water tank. Yeah, usually you use in most circumstances you use the city water hookup. But if you don't have city water on a campsite, if there's no plumbing there, you can fill this tank up ahead of time and then use the onboard pump to pump it, and it'll work just like you have city water. So this is your backup system for the times you camp when you don't have plumbing. All right, this is just your 30 amp 30-foot cord, power cord right there. That's just a service panel for the refrigerator. You don't really have to go in there unless you're servicing it. Okay, so normally we'd be doing this when the bunk is up, but I'm going to slide under here and show you. All right, so this is the black tank valve here, so we'll shut it. This is the gray tank, we'll shut it. So you put your hose on here, put the other end in the dump station. Then you're going to dump the black tank by doing this. And it'll come whooshing out. The black tank is toilet waste and water. The gray tank is sink and shower water. So you'll dump the gray second, right? Because it's cleaner water than the black water. That's simple. Then, like I showed you when we first started this video, in the back corner there's a black tank flush hook up. You'll hook your hose up to that, and while leaving this valve open, you turn it on, and it'll spray out the inside of the black tank and clean off your sensors really good and clean out the tank. So it's a good thing to have. All right. This here is just outside shower. It's just for kids and dogs and feet or what have you. Hot and cold water. Alrighty. Also, up there along the roof line, you can see there's a housing there. That's just telling us that this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So if you want to get a backup camera to use with it, it has to be a Furion camera that fits in that housing. We sell them here, or you can purchase them wherever you choose, but make sure you get the one that fits there, all right? Also, while I'm looking at the roof, you have to inspect your roof at least 3 times a summer. So you figure in the spring and the fall, I should say season. So in the spring and the fall, you'll go up there, and then once in the middle of the summer, you walk around, you check all the sealant, make sure it's good and tight, no cracks, no separation, and that's why you inspect it. Odds are you won't have to do anything for a long time, but you just don't know that until you go up there and inspect. So you have to inspect the roof. It's very important. Okay, so let's move towards the inside of the trailer here. Let me slide right in here. Okay, get some lights going. Okay, so you can see the power awning has an LED strip. The switch to operate the power awning is right here. So you just extend it until you can, and it goes out 8 feet till you can see the roller tube. That's how you know you're all the way out. Never leave it out unattended, because if you do, the wind can whip up really quick and damage it in just an instant. So you always want to bring it in when you're not using it, or when you're not at the site anyway. Okay, the slide out is right here. You're just going to send it out. In this case, it goes out. You'll hear it ratchet when it gets all the way out, or all the way in. That's how you know when to take your finger off the button. The table should always be stowed in the down position. To put it up, you're just gonna pull out on the legs, the leg assembly, and it'll lock into place. But to collapse it, you're just gonna push this to the right, and it'll unlatch it. And you collapse it down onto the cleats here, all right? And you can fill in the cushions and use it for a bed. But when you're traveling, it has to be in a down position like this, so it doesn't bounce around and break something. All right. Okay. Simple enough. Now, the water heater on electric, I told you there's a second electric switch outside, so you'd have to activate that switch. Then you can use this one here, and to light it on gas, it's right here. Make sure there's water in the water heater before you do that. To turn on the pump, which you use for using, if you got water in your fresh water tank and no plumbing on the campsite, you would use the water pump. Also, you use that to draw antifreeze in too. Always make sure you bypass the water heater before pulling any antifreeze or pushing any antifreeze into the system, because you don't want to get antifreeze into the water heater, because it'll leave a really foul taste and smell that won't go away. Okay, so you got your lights here. This is a Wi-Fi Ranger. If you look on the roof, there's 2 little rubber antennas up there, and basically what it does, it's a router and a signal booster. So when you look on your device, okay, you'll look for Sky4 LTE 1150. That's your Wi-Fi Ranger, okay? To see what the Ranger sees, you'll go to this IP address down here at the bottom, 10-1111, so on and so forth. Type that in, and then the temporary password is changed me now 1150. All right. Then you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. So if you're using free public Wi-Fi, basically you set all your devices, you put the password for your Wi-Fi Ranger in it so it hooks up automatically. Then when you get to the campground or wherever you're using the public Wi-Fi at, you'll just hook your Wi-Fi Ranger to that. It boosts the signal really well. It does a good job of increasing your signal strength, so it's a good thing to have. Now there's a second function for it that involves a SIM card. You'd actually have to pay for another, like whoever you get your cell phone service from, it would be like paying for another phone. Most people don't use that unless they really need to be connected. So that option is there, but most people just use the public Wi-Fi option. Okay. All right. So I think we covered everything on the panel here. This GFCI here, all the plugs in the trailer are going to be wired through a GFCI. So if you're using a coffee pot outside and it pops, you're going to reset it here, for example. All right. This, just so you know, this is your thing. You can use it if you choose to. It's up to you. It's a tire monitors, and basically it'll monitor the tire pressure and the temperature of your wheels. So, and you've got this little screen that'll go into your tow vehicle with you, and you can look at it, and it's got an alarm on it if it starts to lose pressure or whatever, or if it overheats. So that's an option for you to use. Also, this is your range. I don't know if these got the gas turned on right now, but it doesn't really matter because I could talk you through it, no problem. So you just turn it to light here and light it. So all you're doing is pushing this button right here. So you turn this on to light, push the button, and there you go. Obviously you got a knob for each burner. The oven is a little different. Basically way in the back here on the bottom there's a pilot light. Okay. So what you're going to do, you go to the oven knob, you'll turn it to pilot, and then depress it and hold it. Then you'll spark it here. You keep sparking it until the pilot light down there lights. Once it lights, you're still holding this in, and you hold it for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature, and it cycles on and off like an oven does. But when you shut it off, obviously the flame goes off, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay, this is the vent hood that I told, or the range hood that I told you about that vents to the outside. There's the fan and light. The microwave works like any other microwave. This device here is the power converter. It's right below the refrigerator. It converts AC, 110 AC down to 12 volt DC. So you can see you've got AC power on this side and regular household type circuit breakers, and they're labeled. And then the power is converted down to 12 volt DC over here. You got 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled. If any of these fuses blow, they'll light up, and you can actually see them through this tinted plastic here, so you would know that a fuse blew. Also, when you're plugged in, this will monitor your battery, and if your battery is really low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to charge it. If it's charged, it'll just trickle a couple to maintain it, but it'll always keep your battery charged as long as you're plugged into shore power. Okay? It does have a fan inside that kicks on and off, so you'll hear it running slightly at times when it gets a load on it. Okay, you can hook another TV up here. There's a TV backer for a bracket, and there's your hookup down there. All right. Your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator, therefore it'll run on 110 AC or it will run on LP gas. So you just turn it on. Right now it's on auto. Auto means electric. The reason they call it auto is because it always searches out electricity. If it can't find it, it would automatically switch to gas. Or if you're using it on electricity and you have a power outage, it'll automatically switch to gas. So that's, when you look at auto, you're basically running on electricity. Now you can run it dedicated to gas just by pushing this button like that. Okay, you can pull it down the road dedicated to gas. If this check light was to come on, it just means it faulted, it didn't light. So you just would turn it on and off again to cycle it through. It'll light the next time for sure. But normally you want it on auto, which means electric. The only other thing to know is that this device here is called a thermistor. This plastic is just a bracket. The thermistor is actually that cylinder you see sticking out the top. So, like it says on this decal, the higher you go with it, the cooler it gets in the fridge. So basically you're going to slide it up as high as you can. It slides freely inside that clip, so if it comes out, you just stick it back in, that's all. But you want it up all the way, unless it's cold outside. So you can always back it off if it starts to frost up or something. Alright, so there's also let's see where it's at here, over here. This is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector down here. it should always be green like it is. If it goes off, you want to get everybody out of the trailer, shut the gas off at the front and figure out what's going on. But it should always be green, or else you get it serviced. It'll detect carbon monoxide buildup and LP gas leak. And if it beeps really, really slow, it's telling you your battery is low. All right. This is just an analog thermostat. We're all the way over on cool. Fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. And of course, heat is all the way over here. Always try to keep this on auto. All right. Okay. I'm going to show you. We'll show you how the bunks work when you're here. But basically, very briefly, when you're putting it down, I'll do it on this one here because it's easier to see. You'll go like this, right? You let the crossbar fall. You'll put this bar here, like that. Then you're going to fold it like this, right? So it sits on this Velcro. We got a little bit of debris here that needs to be cleaned off. Okay, but I'm not going to do that right now. I mean, I'm going to have her come in and do that right now, but so I'm not going to move the mattress. But you can see this Velcro attaches right here, so you can slide the mattress right there on the edge, and then you just fold it up. That's all there is to it. Make sure you tuck it in all the way around. Each one, the bars fold into the crease of the mattress, okay? All right, let's see what the other ones are like too. She might have to do those also, just to make sure it's good and clean, okay? Well, I'll have her look at that. Okay, let's see. This is your TV antenna. It doesn't go up and down, it just rotates, so you're just gonna rotate it to tune it in. Your radio plays CDs and DVDs, of course. You can stream off of this USB here. This HDMI is an in. You can go into it with a Blu-ray player or a game machine or whatever. You can hook up wirelessly with Bluetooth to play to stream off your phone or tablet. You have 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside, 2 is outside. So it has pretty much everything you need. All right, the TV works like any other TV. It has a bracket that you can swing out, but make sure it locks into place. So before you bring the slide out in, always make sure you lock the TV into place by pushing it in until it clicks. All right, and then you have a little cubby here. Put your remotes in or whatever you want to put in there. Okay, when the AC feels good, I'll tell you, it's hot out. Okay, so I think we've covered everything. I'm going to look around a bit. You have 2 fans. These work very good to pull the humidity out and the heat out when it's not warm enough for the air conditioner. So you can use the 2 fans, the one in the bathroom and this one, and pull the heat out. Also, if you got a bunch of people in here and it's getting cool out and you start to get condensation from people's breath, you can just turn these 2 fans on one. You can barely hear them running, and it'll pull all that right out. You also obviously have one in the bathroom here, the exact same fan. So just so you know, you pull down on this to unlatch it like that, and then it's got a vent made over it so you can open it during the rain. The sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. The toilet, the only thing you want to remember about it is you can't use it dry or without chemical. The flush pedal is right there. So to flush it, water, when the water's not hooked up now, that's residual pressure, but it'll just swirl all down like this. That's the black tank directly below, right? So what you do is when you'll pull into your campsite, you'll level your trailer, you'll hook up the power, hook up the water, then you'll come in here. You can't use this dry, and you can't use it without chemicals. So look, you'll take your chemical, whichever chemical you use, you'll put it right in there. You'll step on the pedal, water will come rushing out and flush the chemical into the tank. You'll just stand on the pedal till you put about 1 gallon of water in there, 2 gallons tops. There's no way to tell that from the monitor panel. You just, you just hold it and use common sense till you got some water in there. Because it has to have some water in it to start using it, and it has to have chemical. Now, when you flush it, it's only going to fill up to here, so there's a spot here that you can push the pedal. It doesn't open the trap, but it will activate the water valve, so you can fill it up as full as you want before you use it. That's a ceramic toilet too, so it's decent. It's not that plastic creaky thing that feels like it's going to collapse on you. So, okay. All right, so let me walk back over here to the monitor panel. I don't know, I'm being a little absent-minded right now. I don't know if I went through the levels or not with you. So this is your battery, it's charged, right? Although you always want to check it when you're not plugged in. Your freshwater tank is a third full because we're water testing it right now. As it fills, it graduates up in 1/3 increments till it's full. The black tank is empty, graduates up in 1/3 increments. Same with your gray. Once you get past 2/3 full, you want to start thinking about dumping it. Okay, so that's how you check your levels right there. The Wi-Fi Ranger, all the information is right here on the sticker. You can also call the 800 number that's on their paperwork, and they can actually talk you through it if you need help, but it's pretty straightforward. If you can't figure it out, just have some 12-year-old do it for you. That's what I do. So it's very simple. You always want to have this closed when you're traveling, because it will tend to break. If it's not, all the buttons will have all the lights will have a button in the middle also to turn them on and off. It turns into a bed by pulling it forward like this, and it'll roll right over into a bed. This is your grill down here, your griddle, I guess it is. Okay, so I think I covered it all. Okay, well, we can answer more questions when you come to pick up your trailer, obviously, and there's all kinds of online information, and there's a packet in here that has a manual for every component in here, so you got tons of reading if you want to. So this will also accept a water filter. You have to, it's probably in here. Let me see where they put it. I'm not sure at this moment. You got fan light combos to hang on the bunks. These have a light and a fan. These are mattress warmers. You plug them into the mattress with this side, and the other side goes into a 110, and you can control the mattresses. Okay, well, I don't see it at this moment. He's got everything packed away, but there is a water filter that comes with it with a wrench, and you can install it if you choose to. If you do use it, you have to change it out every season. You basically put a new one in after you de-winterize it in the spring, and then right before you winterize it in the fall, you take the old one out and toss it out. So most people don't drink the water, so not everybody uses the filter, but it's up to you. Okay. All right. So, okay. Well, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV. If you have any issues, you call us and we'll help you out. Remember, always inspect your roof at least 3 times a season, and always bypass your water heater before pumping antifreeze in. Okay. So thank you very much, and goodbye.